Direct misfire, talking many war games. Ben, Some, and Spoon are taking aim. Comment, like, and subscribe today, keeping you notified and up to date.
Hello one and all, and welcome to another direct Misfire Missive. Tonight with me, as always, I have Mr. Selleck and Mr. Benson. How are we going?
Yeah, not too bad, guys. Not too bad.
I've been better.
So, we'll have to apologise. Poor Benson's dying from man flu.
Sorry. We'll get there. I'll struggle through. I'm alive, so that's something.
That's a bonus, yeah.
Mm.
Tonight we're going to discuss Convic, which is the recent tournament we've been to, a bit of hobby and whatnot. We'll start off with Convic.
Mm-hmm.
What did we all think? How'd we go? Do you want to start us off, Selleck?
No, I sure will. So I started off quite confident, purely because I had the bye first up. But after that, overall the tournament ended for me not too successful. I was more holding the tournament up. But ended up with 3 draws, 3 losses, and the bye overall. For me, yeah, it was a pretty good tournament. Great people. It was good to see some old faces actually back that I haven't seen since 2008, I think, some of the faces. But yeah, how about you, Spoonie? How'd you like it?
I thought it was really, really well run. First day was a bit of a butt f***. Shouldn't use that language, but other than the bye, I got smashed in every game from memory. Day 2 was a bit different. I come out with 2 wins out of 3 games. It was 3 games on the second day, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a lot better. I really enjoyed the 2,000 point games. Not such a big fan of 1,000 point games, but that's just me.
Yep.
I think Andrew and Jeff did an awesome job running the event.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly go again. Terrain was good. The place was well set out.
Plenty of room.
Plenty of room. Had a bit of Saturday night shenanigans.
Much better than last year.
Yeah. I thought overall it was quite good.
So if everyone does want to take back 12 months, we actually gave Convic a pretty honest, robust review. So the good news there is that Andrew Goodman and Jeff have actually taken this all on board, and I'm not sure what was communicated to the hotel across the road, but apparently they even lifted their game.
Copped it.
So
I reckon they heard our cast.
They're probably a
have to.
cast follower.
Also, Matilda, big fans.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, apparently, or even the hotel improved. So everything was pretty top notch from my point of view.
Mm.
Do you want to give us a rundown, Ben, if you can?
Yeah, sure. The games were pretty swingy. I think just going by the tournament.to site, because I can't remember exactly what I did. Looks like I won 3 games and won 4 games and lost 3, with the last game being probably the toughest, 15-5 win. Everything else is kind of like in 17, 18, 19. I think that's how most of those win-loss draw go. It's you either win big or you don't.
Yeah, you smash me, you jerk.
Yeah, well, that's a given. I kid.
So what army did you take, just like the race?
Abyssal Dwarfs. I think they're very hard to write lists for when it comes to the small point games, because you either got to take lots of Slave Orc hordes, which I didn't have, or regiments of dwarves again, which I didn't have. Everything else is just really expensive with the restrictions. It was hard to kind of work around.
Yep. Before we jump over to Spoon and see what army he's taken, the first 2 rounds, 1 and 2, were 1,000 point games.
Mm-hmm.
Round 3 and 4 were 1,500s, and 5, 6, and 7 were all 2,000, and they all had different restrictions on the actual size of the units depending on the size of the actual game. So. Spoon, what did you end up running?
Ran Forces of the Abyss.
Yes.
Pretty much succubi force. My biggest problem with the smaller point games, I guess, might be because my army's multi-based for the bigger games, which really limited
That's also a big
my
thing,
choices.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm not going to paint another 50 demons just for one event, so yeah.
Yep.
Maybe in future, if I do future armies, I'll do units of troops that turn into regiments and
Regiments
so
for
forth.
hordes.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And yourself?
Yep. For myself, I ended up running Kingdoms of Men. So I just found that the ogres just aren't really suited to the really low point units. So particularly in the 1,000 point games, we were restricted to 200 point units, and I just don't. That doesn't suit my style of play. I did see that some people were running some sort of successful list, but definitely not
I mean,
for me.
last year with the small point games, I was running ogres. I know I didn't find it too difficult, but again, style of play. So if you're not comfortable with the lists that it produces, then you're not going to go for it.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't have a very diverse unit base for the ogres, so I sort of set it up for a fantasy game with a certain style in mind. Now that I've moved across to the Mantic system, it's probably not quite as suited just yet.
Yep.
But I've got a question for you all, and we'll start off with Spoon, and then if Ben's alive, we'll still get to him. But what was the one thing that you learnt out of the 7 games that you played?
That the Abyssal Temptress with wings is possibly my favourite unit in the Abyss army these days. The individual character can stare and stealthy rather can hold up units for a really long time. I mean, she's only defense 4, but the -1 to hit makes a huge difference, so you can hold something up for a while you're dealing with other threats.
Yeah, I did.
That was my big win for the weekend, I think.
Yeah, I did pop over to watch a couple of your games. If you sort of had a look at my tournament results, I had a fair bit of time on my hands. But I saw you charging that thing across straight headfirst into a few units, and they were struggling to get through it, that little guy.
Yeah. I took it with the Helmut Ram, which is Thunder 1.
Yep.
The only change I would make in the future is probably switch it over to Healing Brew instead.
Yep.
Just to keep her alive a bit longer. As long as you do 1 wound, you're pretty much doing your job. Well, she's doing her job anyway, so...
Yep. How about you, Benson? The one thing you learnt from the 7 games?
The one thing, I can defeat a all-regiment mummy army. I played that list. Josh Angel,
Yep.
He took a whole bunch of regiments of mummies, 3 catapults, Soul Reaver Cav, some characters to back it up, and I thought, yeah, this isn't going to go very well, but no.
Yeah, 15-5 win in the 7th round.
Well, what about you, Mr. Selick?
Well, I guess my shining light that I've got is the General on a Winged Beast, and I gambled a little bit and put the Blood of the Old King on him. And I must say, I just loved his diversity and ability to pump out some damage. So, flank or a rear charge just absolutely cripples a unit. And for me, that was the one thing that I learned. I'm not sure I'm going to take anything else on him for a little while until it stuffs up one game and I rage quit.
That's it, flip the table.
While we're on the Convic topic, let's go favourite moment and least favourite moment.
Alright, well I'll kick this one off.
Yep.
Favourite moment was once again, it goes back to my Winged Beast General. Got offered a rear charge with the Blood of the Old King, so that's 18 attacks in the rear, and I think I did 16 or 17 wounds and absolutely took off this rat unit that was threatening one of my flanks. So that was easily the best unit. The bad unit was in exactly the same game. Nothing else went for me, so I ended up losing it even after that heroic rear charge. But yeah, pretty sad moment.
What about you, Ben?
It's hard. A lot of the bad moments were also good. My second game against Ken Ferris's Varangar, his bloody monster with Pathfinder, there's nothing I could have done with it. It just kept rolling really low nerve for it, and he just took off everything with it, pretty much. And my last game against the mummies, I think you observed a few of the issues here, but it also kind of made for some great moments. Is the amount of double ones that were rolled in that game was phenomenal. Double one-ing catapults, double one-ing a Archfiend double one-ing regiments. It was everywhere, but it made for an epic game. I held up his Soul Reaver Cavalry regiment by double sixing a bunch. 1 or 2 wound from Flamebearers double sixing, and it was just kind of sitting there doing nothing. It was a game of doubles. It was both terrible and awesome at the same time.
Yeah, I did actually watch you come over and double one the mummies after you flanked it.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, good stuff. And Spoon, round us off.
I have 2 favourite moments. One of them was, it sounds really bad, but being pantsed by Charles Black.
Yeah.
It was the most enjoyable pantsing I've ever had.
You don't hear that
So
often.
much fun.
He had a good army.
Yeah. It was a really good army. It looked really nice. And I think that's probably part and parcel of it, and his attitude towards the game was really good. So even though the game was over very, very quickly, I still really enjoyed it. Second favourite moment was probably seeing those jerks from Canberra.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll probably see them again, well, hopefully, at CanCon in 2018.
Bunch of months away.
Yeah. Least favourite moment, and don't take this personally, Drew, because I know you're probably listening, was my poor Lord of Lies getting charged in the rear and taken off. So I charged 2 units into, I can't even remember what they were, Warband or something, I think it was. Cavalry and my Lord of Lies charged in. Double won the first combat, and then I thought, I'll get through this combat, I'll just charge 1 unit in. So I just charged the cavalry in. All I needed to do was cause 1 wound, roll the test. So I charged the cavalry in, moved the Lord of Lies, and exposed the rear, and of course, double won.
Never expose the rear.
Blanket rule.
Poor Lord of Lies copped it and got taken off.
As what will happen if you expose the rear?
Well, it sounds like that should have been what you learnt.
No.
So, I guess just to finish off the Convic chat, overall, I think it was a success. Definitely be going back. I'm not a fan of the 1K armies, and I don't think anyone else on this podcast is. But that's not to say there was definitely a lot of feedback about people enjoying it. So I think they're going to...
It's for some people.
Yeah, definitely. So I do encourage everyone to get down next year. We'll probably talk about it again, and we'll most likely at least tend to 1 or 2 days there. So try and get down to Convic.
Where did everyone place on the ladder?
Oh, you came 9th, and then Spoonie down at 16th, and then we just keep on scrolling with the mouse down to 21st, and you find me.
Out of 24.
Out of 24, yeah.
What's promising is that I think last year only picked up 14 players, so I know some players only turned up for day 2 for the 2,000 point games. But
Yeah,
you're looking
3
at
players, yeah.
10 extra players on last year, which is really, really good.
Yeah, not only that, some of them are quality players. Like, you have a look at Jeff Trace, Charles Black, like some of these guys, and like some of the Sydney guys, sorry, not the Sydney, the Canberra guys coming down, like all of that starts to make it, to bring back that Convic of old.
Okay, let's move on then.
So we'll jump on the hobby now. We can sort of go round the room. So what are we all working on? So we'll start off with Benson so that he can die in peace after.
Sure. Alrighty. So much hobby. Excuse me. Since 40k has come out, there's been a lot of 40k action happening. My old Necrons are getting a bit of spit and polish, and I've got some new reinforcements for them. Whole bunch of troops and a vehicle or two. And our power gaming mate Viv, he's got a 1,000 Suns army, which I am assembling and will be painting very soon. I've only just started a test paint there, but that's an entire army I've been cleaning and assembling for the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
Also on the cards, I've got Malifaux in progress. I'm in the middle of making a little diorama for my Collodi crew, so he's like a puppet master, little puppets that he orders around, and I'm making an old rundown theatre stage as a display board.
Nice.
Just because I think it'll look pretty. And I'm making some storage to house all these new things. I think that's all the hobby that I've got. It's mainly been 40k Malifaux. I had Convic prep. There were orcs that needed completing, dwarves that needed starting and completing, and we're almost done with a regiment of orc cavalry on top of that. So I've been busy.
You have been busy. So on the weekend, I was actually blessed with Benson's company as we went away to a winery, and I do believe it was about 2 a.m. We're all drunk and having a blast playing games, and here's Benson sitting over at the table, and he's just chipping away with a hobby knife, with his Necrons.
Cleaning those metals.
Probably about 25 beers in.
Yeah.
There was some concern that you were going to chop your finger off, but it's dedication, people.
Well, it was a good weekend. Nice and I find that relaxing. I find cleaning and assembling relaxing.
I find it a pain in the ass.
And having a few beers while you're doing it's even better.
That's it.
Maybe I should try that.
Just so you know, my hobby knife isn't sharp. I've been using the same knife for the last 2-3 years. It's quite blunt, but it's great for scraping and chopping without slicing your hand. That's the secret. Get a really old hobby knife.
Do you All right, so Spoon, I know that we were discussing off air that you were
Yes.
just about to start compiling a list so that you could feel some achievement to cross things off.
Yeah.
So
it
just
could
because
be
we
quite
don't
a-
want this to be a 5-hour show,
Mm-hmm.
can you just go through your first 20?
First 20. No, I'll cut it. I'll keep it small.
Oh,
I've just finished some Forge World War Master castles, so I'm pretty happy with that. I've finished about a third of my War Master terrain, I think.
Oh yeah, you put that pictures on the Facebook page, didn't you?
on the line?
Yeah. Yep. And for a reasonably quick job, I think they come up all right. I probably could have done a better job, but for 10 mil gaming,
Mm-hmm.
it looks all right. But now that I've finished that, I'm thinking I might start a second Blood Bowl team, and it'll be the High Elves. I think they're already soaking away in simple green, so I can strip whatever paint they had on them off.
Now you've got every team available. Is that right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I've got all the old 3rd to 5th edition Blood Bowl.
But only
team,
one
so-
painted.
I've got about 4.
Okay.
So I got, most of 4 anyway. I've got Skaven pretty much done, Chaos Dwarf. I've finished the Lizardman except 1 star player.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've done most of a Chaos team as well, I think.
Right.
But that'll be a quick job, hopefully, the High Elves. And then I'm hoping to move back onto my Wrath of Kings Garitsium.
Ah yes.
But that's what I've got on the plate so far. Hopefully I can get that done quick. What about you, Mr. Selleck?
So for me, so still finishing off The Walking Dead. So to be transparent about it all, I have been complacent. I've let life get on top of me, and I had the Outlaws over, and after they got packed away, it's been a bit of a mission to unpack it all and start painting again. I know it seems like a lame excuse, but so that'll be back on the cards starting this week, while I also wait for my Dragon Empire Kickstarter to come. So they've had a few delays on that, but I can't wait to get that down, because I'm going to
Yep.
be using them as elves, and I think it'll be a good change up. The other thing that I've got going is Undead, so that's like a slow build that I'm working on, and I will be rebasing the Kingdoms of Men,
Ooh.
purely around that it was a pain in the arse at Convic.
Because they were your old Empire army, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, and they've done a mission. They've done all right, and I just really enjoy their. No complaints at all.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Anything else hobby related you want to talk about while we're here?
I've got the Dark Souls game finally in the mail. I got the notice from the Australia Post saying that it's on its way, so I should have it in a couple of days. So looking forward to busting that one out the next board game night.
Nice. I got Bears vs. Babies,
Uh-huh.
and I've played a couple of games, and Emma has kicked my ass in every game.
It's from the same creators of Exploding Kittens, yeah?
Yeah. So basically you build monsters with body parts, and
Mhm.
you kill the baby armies. It's quite fun.
Right. It sounds
Right.
awful.
Yeah.
I'm going to crack it out next week when I host again, so
Okay, cool.
that's a
Nice.
good game. Other than that, I've got Raging Heroes Kickstarter on the way.
Oh yeah, got that too,
And-
yep. And Twisted should be arriving
Yeah, that.
at
When is
some
that coming?
point. I don't know, we haven't had an update for a couple of weeks now.
Maybe we can do another missive when that finally gets here and
So
tell
many
everyone
toys.
about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've read most of the rulebook. We've got that on PDF. It's got some
I
really
haven't
good
read
backstory. Really interesting, but really keen for that game.
Me too.
Speaking of rule books, Benson, have you got the Kings of War Summer campaign,
No,
or have
not
you
yet.
ordered it?
I have ordered it, but still waiting on it.
Excellent. We'll have to make sure we get on that. I think that's gonna bring a whole new air of life into Kings of War.
Really looking
With that
forward to
fluff coming in.
Are we going to host again at...
It depends
House of
on
War?
how it's. I don't think it's like the International Campaign Day, which is just one day, and that's it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because this thing goes, I think it was over 6 weeks.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and
No
it's
worries.
going to be each of the game outcomes shapes the landscape. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's results collated on Beasts of War, if I remember correctly, and then they'll have that result, and that changes the map and the world.
Cool.
Ooh.
So
That's exciting.
super keen. Yeah.
Anything else we've got to talk about, or is that it?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, let's just wrap it up for today.
Before we go, though, stay tuned, because we will be recording our next army review very
Mhm.
soon. We've been a bit slack, and we are sorry. We have the Kingdom of Men up next.
Woo!
Yes, finally,
Long overdue, I think.
indeed.
It is. So is there a way for people to get their questions into us, Spoon?
Yes. Visit our Facebook page. Or send us an email at directmisfire@gmail.com. What's the Twitter handle, Salik?
At Direct Misfire, I do believe.
You know where to get onto us. Talk to us.
Please.
Give us some suggestions, please. Send us some pretty pictures.
We like pictures.
No dick pics.
No, thank you.
And on that note, I think we will wrap it all up. But please do get in contact with us. We love to answer your questions so that we've got stuff to ramble on about. Apparently you guys like to hear that. So please get on to one of those forums and we will talk to you next time.
See you.
Bye.
Yeah, direct misfire blowing up the game. Talking many war games is our aim. From rulebooks to advice, we cover it all. With the best tactics, we never fall. Ben, Summon, Spoon are your host every vid. Misfiring, but aiming up ahead. Comment, like, and subscribe today. Keeping you notified and up to date. Come check us out at facebook.com/directmisfire or shoot us over an email at directmisfire@gmail.com.